Welcome to Ballet Bites, everyone. Today, we're diving into the ever-controversial debate of overrated versus underrated in ballet. It's a spicy topic for sure.
Absolutely. And what strikes me right off is how we're challenged to think about what really counts in a ballet. It's programming frequency versus, the dramatic and musical weight, right?
Exactly. It's like, how do you balance popularity and artistic integrity? And we have five fast questions to kick things off.
Right, like what exactly are we measuring? Is it the sheer number of times you see a ballet on stage? Or is it the artistry, the narrative depth, the choreography, the music, and even its historical role?
Yes, and take Don Quixote for instance. It's a blockbuster, packed with bravura numbers, dazzling solos, and a spirited dryad scene that really gets the crowd going. But are those strengths enough despite its sometimes thin plot?
Exactly. And then there's Raymonda, the unicorn of the ballet world. Rarely performed, famously complex. It's almost like it hides behind its own technical demands.
Right. And when we step back to look at the criteria, we need to weigh 5 aspects: narrative clarity, choreographic craft, musical quality, historical influence, and production practicality.
Definitely. Yes. And throw in an extra twist, the clippability factor. I mean, Balanchine never thought about TikTok, but a 30-second fiery coda can really boost marketing nowadays.
Oh, absolutely. It's like the modern spin on old classics. So, with Don Quixote, we get a ballet that premiered in Moscow in 1869 under Petipa with Minkus's music. And then there's Gorsky's influential revival in 1900 at the Bolshoi. The lineage is solid.
For sure. And the score punches it with a vibrant, rhythmic energy that's perfect for showcasing technical virtuosity through one-handed lifts, dagger-precise pirouettes, and those famous crowd-pleasing codas.
Yes, but here's the rub. While Don Quixote excels in, choreographic craft and historical impact, its narrative and musical heft can feel a bit shallow.
I get that. So would you say it's over-relied upon rather than truly overrated?
Exactly. It's accurately rated as a star vehicle, but there's a risk of over-programming it, like crowding out works with more profound musical or thematic qualities.
Now shifting to Raymonda, this one's a beast in every sense, premiered at the Mariinsky on January 7th, 19th, 1898, under Petipa, with Glazunov's sumptuous score. It's known for its lengthy, complex run and enormous core demands.
Right, it's like a 3-hour epic that demands a huge, meticulously coached ensemble, especially during that famous Pas Classique Hongrois in Act 3.
Yeah, exactly. And then you have the production challenges. Multiple costume worlds, heavy set and wardrobe requirements, and a high-standard orchestra to honor Glazunov's musical architecture. No shortcuts allowed.
Absolutely. And while Raimonda might feel a bit plot-light, more a suite of dazzling variations than a driven narrative, it definitely rewards companies that can meet its demands with a sumptuous artistic payoff.
However, I have to challenge one point. Isn't it a bit harsh to say Raimonda is underrated solely because of its challenges? Sometimes the complexity is a valid artistic choice rather than a flaw.
Fair point, but think about it. Its scarcity in the repertoire often means audiences miss out on its towering choreographic ingenuity and musical grandeur. Yet, its practical demands do push many directors to pass it by.
So it becomes a true test of a company's resource depth. If they can pull it off, the payoff is huge, but if not, you're left with a museum piece rather than a living classic.
Exactly, and on our scorecard, Raimonda might tick off narrative as something that can be refreshed, choreographic craft as nearly unparalleled, top-notch music, but practical concerns drag it down.
Yeah, right. Which brings us to that core debate in season planning. Should box office popularity or merit be the guiding factor?
For sure. I think it's a balance. A season might be anchored by 40-50% proven crowd pleasers like Don Q, 30-40% heritage revivals with high artistry like Raymonda or La Bayadère, and 20-30% new commissions or mid-century gems.
Absolutely. It's almost like using popular shows to subsidize the risk of programming those deeper, more demanding works.
Exactly. It's the perfect equation for sustaining both audience engagement and artistic innovation. And within each piece, there's room to recalibrate further. For instance, In Don Q, directors can emphasize the poetic, classical moments, like the Dryad scene, to balance out the lighter plot.
And in Raymonda, by trimming repeats judiciously and preserving the integrity of the pivotal Act 3, companies can transform it from a logistical burden into an unforgettable artistic statement.
Totally. Plus, casting plays a huge role. Don Q thrives on personality and chemistry, while Raimonda calls for a ballerina who can command both musicality and regal presence.
Right, exactly. So, to boil it all down, what do we conclude about overrated versus underrated in ballet?
Well, it's really about looking at the entire picture. A ballet is overrated if its stage frequency isn't justified by its artistic rewards, and underrated if its scarcity belies the tremendous creative, musical, and historical value it offers.
And then with Don Q, we see a masterpiece that, while lacking some narrative depth, excels as a visually and technically invigorating spectacle, a kind of over-reliance, rather than being overrated.
Precisely. And with Raimonda, despite its weighty production demands, when executed well, it's a banquet of choreographic brilliance. It's underrated in the sense that its potential remains largely untapped in many repertoires.
Absolutely, yep. And then there's that final strategic point in season planning. A smart program uses a mix of star vehicles and hidden gems to both draw audiences and nurture artistic innovation.
Yes, and it all circles back to recalibrating the classics, rethinking the balance between narrative clarity, choreographic ingenuity, and practical production elements.
Which really begs for a broader conversation among audiences, dancers, and directors alike. How do we, as a community, decide which pieces deserve their time in the spotlight?
Exactly. It's a dialogue that not only influences programming decisions, but also shapes the future direction of ballet as an art form. And, asking the right questions is key.
I love those 5 fast questions. It makes you think, what weight should we give to artistic merit versus sheer popularity? You really have to balance between keeping the audience excited and, preserving the art's integrity.
Yes, and directors can use that as a roadmap. For example, pairing a blockbuster like Don Q with a more demanding work like Raymonda ensures that, while the house is full, you're also challenging and enriching your audience.
Exactly right. And it opens up fascinating debates on stage, like whether the famous Act 3 grandpa of Don Q can redeem its relatively thin dramatic storyline, or if Raimonda's sweeping musical themes can carry an otherwise light narrative.
Absolutely, and it really leaves it up to each company and even each discerning viewer to decide what matters more, the glitter of virtuosity or the profound emotional journey.
Exactly. So, for our listeners, what do you think? Which ballets do you feel are over-programmed versus those that are unfairly neglected? And how would you, if you were programming a season, strike that balance?
That's the real question. We hope you'll ponder these points and share your thoughts. Whether it's Khitri's variation in Don Q or Raimonda's delicate yet demanding character moments, every detail counts.
Right on. And remember, precision in our choices is the antidote to the labels of overrated and underrated. Keep those conversations going in your communities and, make your voices heard.
Well put. Thanks for tuning in to Ballet Bites. Have a wonderful day, and may your love for ballet, in all its complexities, keep dancing on.
Yep, absolutely.